So every time I drive the Charger, there seems to be two conversations that get sparked up. Number one is, when you go paint it orange? And number two is, thank God you didn't paint it orange. So today, let's talk about, should you build a General Lee? Yes or no? So before you start straightening the curves and flattening the hills on your way to go get one, this car was my first car. And it's a 70 model. Yep, I know it's not a 69. But that's okay. When you get a Charger, you're going to find whatever you find. Whether it's a 68, a 69, or a 70. That's just the way it is. That's the way it was 26 years ago. And that's the way it is today. But the internet has surely helped that out. But with that goes the price. These prices are just keep going up. The days of you getting a $1,200 car and getting it running in 3 days and driving it to school on a Monday, they're over. Well, generally speaking, see what I did there? You find somebody that's got a car, it's been in the weeds, out back behind their house, their shed, for like 30 years, and you knock on their door or whatever to buy it, and they're like, well, I just seen that car sell in the auction block on the TV for $125,000. No. Those people who sold that car at auction probably had double that money. And let's say that's not even a General, right? An all numbers matching, you know, top tier Charger. That's what that sold for. Not the bottom of the barrel, you know, I can sling a cat through the side of your quarter panel. Stay away from that kind of car. That is just bad. And that's a big thing that's wrong with the hobby right now. So if the numbers matching cars that are all original, you know, professional restorations, if those guys are almost losing half on their dollar, if you build a General, you're just going to keep cutting that price down because there's a lot of people who don't want that. So just keep that in mind if you're going to do one, and then potentially medical bills or some kind of life-changing event pops up, and then you're going to be even in a more financial crisis than you were when you started. Let's talk about number two. Is your family cool with it? You know, this takes a lot of time to build a car. They might be embarrassed by it. They might not like Dukes of Hazzard like you do. You know, if your kid's little, they might love the idea. But when they're teenagers, they might not want to get picked up from school in the thing. Number three, these cars get a lot of attention. Good and bad. They're pretty hard to babysit, honestly, anymore. You know, 15 years ago, you could just drive your beater around, not give a care in the world about it. But now, if you go leave that at a parking ride somewhere, it might not be there when you come back. And if you ultimately make it the redneck Batmobile, it's going to be even worse. So just also know what you're thinking. How are you making a video on this when your car ain't even orange? But it was orange. It was orange when I was in high school. Had a black bumblebee stripe on the back. It was great. The Charger looks great in orange. I fought the idea for so long. And then when I saved up a bunch of money in car parts to redo it, I ran my car as a General for about 2-3 years. And let me tell you, you're taking that to a whole new level of people sometimes bothering you when you don't want to be bothered. You'll be trying to pump gas at a gas station, and you'll just see people drive by, and you'll see them looking, you'll be like, they turn around, come back, you're there for like 2 hours. My kid was little at the time. I remember going to diaper run. I didn't come back for like 2 hours. Got in a little trouble, I think, on that one. I do want to say, though, when I had my car as a general, the coolest part was I was on the interstate, and the interstate merged like this, and I was over here, and what came over here? The actual 60s Batmobile. That was pretty cool. I didn't have a smartphone recorded at the time. Going with everything else, if you're not a people person, you probably should not do that to your car. Because, I mean, honestly, I'd go to a car show and I would just spend all day letting kids sit in it and taking their pictures. If you're not good around people with disabilities, I don't think you should have one. You know, you don't want to be mean to someone just because they physically see their dream too. Number 4, it doesn't have to be exactly like the TV show. You know, I mean, obviously there's certain levels that people want to do their dream car to. But like right now, I get in this car, you look out through the windshield, it's the same car. Sure, it might be gray, not orange anymore, but it still gives you that feeling. If you get a Charger and your car is a numbers matching car, don't ruin it by making it a general. Sell that car to someone who wants to do a rotisserie restoration. Get you a car, you know, like this or whatever, that doesn't have the original drivetrain, isn't a highly sought after collector car. You know, you don't want to go out and buy a Hemi Charger and then make it a General Lee. Sorry, bad idea. Here's one. It's an old TV show now. That TV show basically went off the air 40 years ago. So it's not like people haven't been doing it for 40 years. Would I build one now? No. If I really wanted one, I'd probably just go buy one. But even then, another thing that comes with that is it's basically been canceled, right? Today's society, you might drive that car to the car show and you might get turned away. You might drive that car to your work and get told that you can't drive it there anymore because it offends somebody. Or you might live in a subdivision and even your homeowners association says you got to cover that thing up, keep in the garage or whatever. It's not appropriate anymore. Sorry, but that's some of the stuff you have to deal with now. So I wanted to make this video for a long time. In the 26 years or 27 years, whatever it's been, that I've owned this car, it went from just being orange to being a general to being what it is now. So I feel like I've had enough experience to talk about it. I've also talked to other Charger owners in the area. One guy who was going to do that type of project, but his son lost interest, so he just painted it orange, put a black stripe on the back, and he'll be the first to tell you that he hates it being orange, just from all the attention that it gets. Another guy I know has one, and he's driven on the power tour, stuff like that, but I think he's about ready to change his too. Just from all the attention or the bad press, really, that they get nowadays because of all the decals and stuff on it. So leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. What's your experience been if you have one? What tips you could give to someone else who doesn't have one? Maybe you can think of some different stuff. I've just been kind of snowballing the idea for this video for a while now. But if you just want to leave a comment, You can just do yes or no. Again, it's your dream. I don't want to ruin it. I'm just trying to tell you what my experience was. And you can still be a fan of the show. But you can drive it black. You can paint it pink. Do whatever you want. It's your car. It's your dream.